So yeah, this is, I think, our 18th exhibition is the tunnel. 18th, yeah. And welcome. We've been going now for 6 years, I think, roughly. And this exhibition is all concerned with the environment and ecology and how we're going to solve the big problems that we have as a society and a world, really, now. And what are the methods we're going to use to solve those problems through art and culture, really. So this all sort of ties in with the artist engineer, which is something I've been writing about for 4 or 5 years now. It's sort of a familiar idea, but also with aspects of newness to it as well. So the artist engineer is this concept I've came up with of an archetype which can help form our culture and basically achieve the aims that we want, which is a sustainable world, a world that works through technology, is my idea, basically. So, I talk a lot, there's a piece of writing I've produced called Techno-Mutualism and also The Artist Engineer, and that talks about how open source culture is important and how through history we've evolved through our tools. So from the Stone Age, the Iron Age, but obviously all these processes have also created, through the Industrial Revolution, for example, that's kind of brought about the problems that we have today. So how do we balance out those things? And the artist engineer is this sort of archetype, cultural archetype I've sort of thought up, which is we need to start, as artists, I think, and cultural makers, and people who are involved in sort of counterculture, we need to start utilising technology more, and we need to start sort of, I think, hack culture and hack it in a way that's genuinely new, I suppose. Now, I know I'm sort of talking a lot of general language and it's sort of hard to avoid, I guess. But yeah, I've also, part of this idea is dealing with cybernetics as well. So cybernetics is it's kind of hard to describe cybernetics actually. It's one of those difficult to sum up frameworks, I suppose. But I think part of what I talk about a lot in the Artist Engineer Manifesto is artists should become cybernetic loops, because we now live in complex, we're spending a lot of time in complex information structures, whether it be Facebook, social media, and via the internet. And I think artists have to become what I describe as cybernetic loops, because we are, this will sound a bit strange, but we are energy systems. The planet is an energy system, we are energy systems, and the internet is an energy system. Everything is an energy system, really, if you want to reduce it down a bit. This is what I'm principally talking about, I suppose, the idea of a cybernetic loop. Now, I'm not going to go too much into that in this talk, because it's just a basic overview of what I perceive this artistic engineer idea to be. But yeah, essentially it's utilise tools, create new tools, digital tools. So this could be anything from a web application to VR is an interesting area, I think, and I think a lot of artists are starting to deal with that now a bit more and a bit better. I kind of am excited by the possibilities of these mediums co-mingling a lot as well. And I think that increasingly that is happening, which is good. But yeah, essentially this artist engineer idea is a sort of neo-Renaissance man model, I suppose. So it's sort of like we should become multidisciplinarians, I suppose, because I think that sort of helps us to create interesting questions and answers to the complex issues that we face today, which are predominantly around, as far as I'm convinced anyway, are around the ecology, the environment, and how we're actually adapting to these technological changes. So I'm not going to yabber on for too much. So yeah, I just thought I would open up the floor to some questions if anybody has any.
How does the zone, being in the zone, relate to the artist engineer?
Good question, actually. So I suppose it depends what you mean by the zone, because that can mean different things depending on what. I mean, if you mean specifically the Tarkovsky version, then in the Tarkovsky version, the zone, if you're not aware, is this sort of place in Tarkovsky's Stalker where you can basically, if you articulate your desires, they will come true. But when people get there, they usually have a difficult time actually articulating what their desires are, because desires by their very nature are contradictory and sort of difficult things, that aspect of human nature, I suppose. But how does it relate to the artist engineer? It relates.
You as the artist engineer, what does in being in the zone mean to you?
To me personally, I would say it means articulating one's desire through technology. Or not articulating necessarily, but being able to form and structure it, I guess. Taking the chaos of the world and turning it into something, it's like, I mean, using an analogy, it's sort of like if you've got a piece of stone which is just unformed, you bring your human will and imagination to it, something happens to that stone. That's art in one way. But yeah, I guess that would be right to that question, I suppose.
Being in the zone is.
I was just going to say, one area obviously to do with ecology and nature is the plants and the animals themselves who don't necessarily interact with technology in the way that humans do. Like in the artist engineer notion, how do we create something that is inclusive rather than exclusive, or are we just doomed to live without nature?
Yeah, no, it's an interesting question. It's one I'm still sort of thinking of a lot at the minute, because I guess often with technology it does actually create a lot of hierarchy, which is often just a part of human nature, but existence in general. But I think we can probably utilise technology, using stuff like bioengineering possibly, or I think there's an interesting discussion we had in the same building actually a while ago about, I think it might have been Jamie that mentioned it, saying using VR to sort of like give perspective on different species and experience of the world or something like that, so it can actually help break those barriers down in some respects. I mean, obviously I know VR is sort of touted as this big thing, and it's sort of never really reached its promise, and still doesn't really truly fully to this day, I don't think. It's still in its sort of early birthing moments, I think, really, of being anything. But thinking wider than that, I think we can use these things as windows to sort of breed empathy, I suppose, for other beings' existences, experience of the world, and even beyond just other species, human beings. Because one of the biggest problems we probably have and always have had for a long time, is that we, either separate through ideology, belief system, when really all that stuff is just baggage. It's baggage that we carry from whether it be our culture or inherited, in my view anyway. So, yeah, that's a good question. Thank you, Genevieve. Does anybody else have any sort of thoughts or questions or anything like that? Anything at all? Yeah, Matt?
What are your desires?
My desires?
Yes, your desires.
That's a very personal but good question. I think I have a lot of desires, and I think a lot of them are. I know that was my answer. I think.
You don't have to answer.
Mervyn, yeah.
How long are the elements attached to the QR codes?
How long are they?
Yeah. Are they long films or are they short?
They're not films. It's links to information on each artifact.
Oh, what kind of information?
So, in the installation that me, Loz and Becca have done, there's 5 artifacts which are in this zone, this zone being the Asylum Chapel in Peckham, London. And on the app you can sort of get information about what each of these artifacts does. There's also a book that Becca's produced that you can write down and write and draw in, I think.
And this is the one.
Yeah. So, and for the actual that installation, you can visit a site produced called Zone Scanner, which is sort of. This is early days, but it's sort of taking the artist engineering principle and putting it into practice because it's using very primitive, I guess, AR, the QR scanning to bring a fictional environment into life, which is. It's been interesting. It's been good to work with Loz and Becca on this. So.
What about the one to your right?
Say again.
What about the one to your right?
This one.
Which one? Where? Oh, Mervyn has this QR scanning there, which.
Just shoehorning your outline.
I leads you to a video on YouTube. I was watching it earlier on, and so that's again is another sort of use of artist engineering, I suppose, sort of utilising physical materials to bring something digital into your frame of experience, I suppose. It's not what I want to get too art-bollocks speaking about it. But if there's no other questions, or if there is anything, has anyone got any questions at all? Or we can just wrap it up there if you want. Thanks for listening. We've got some music coming up next, I think, and poetry and performance. Thank you very much.